Okay, welcome everyone. This is season 2 of Under the Surface with Anneli Maley, powered by Reebok. And today we have Ben Ayre here with us. To start the episode, we're going to give Ben a little gift from Reebok. Here you go.
Wow.
Droopy, hey?
Oh my God, amazing, yes.
So when you see him walking around basketball stadiums, comment on his drip
Reebok.
because...
T-shirt, some sweats.
Yeah, it's pretty nice stuff, man.
Very nice. I like the colours.
Yeah, and I feel so if you see him, compliment him on what he's wearing just to make him feel good too, you know, like...
Please.
Yeah, pump up his tires a little bit. But anyway, thanks for coming in.
Thank you
Is this an off day for you or?
No, not an off day.
What does a typical day in the off season look like for you?
At the moment, so I'll go in the morning and go lift. I try and start my day every morning with a lift, just to be consistent. And then I'm in at State Basketball Center with Southeast a couple of days a week, working out with Mike, working out with Owen. And then also on those other days I'm not in with Southeast and I'm working out with my trainer, Jono, down at Sandy, where I'm playing. And then, in the afternoons, I'll probably go do some recovery, again, back at the gym or just chill out in my own time and kind of just do some off-season things. When
you have off days, if they rarely come around, what do you do on those off days? What are you doing when you're not doing lifting or basketball recovery stuff?
I'm pretty basic, to be honest. I'm really chill. Like, I'll definitely try and sleep in as much as I can. I'm not a great sleeper, so I'll just try and rest on those days. At the moment, I'm kind of like really into reading a lot of like self-help books. But also I'm reading Andre Agassi's book at the moment, which is incredible. So just kind of diving into some reading. And then also just being back in Melbourne, just hanging out with family. I've got three nieces now. So just spending as much time as I can with them and making up for lost time being away. And then, I've got 3 older siblings too. So just spending time with them as much as I can. And that's kind of my off days. Like, that's pretty chill. Yeah, movies or whatever. I'm just relaxing. Pretty chill.
Just doing his thing.
Yeah.
So the reading thing, is that a new thing you've added in, or have you always been a big reader?
Nah, definitely haven't been a big reader at all. But probably not like new to now. Like right now, I've been reading a little bit, but I just go in and out. You know, I have times where I'm reading a lot, and I guess it depends on the book. I don't know if you read.
Look, I'd love to say I crack into the self-help, but I'm a sci-fi fantasy nerd. Okay. So anything that's real life is a little bit too far-fetched to me. I want to stay in my dragons and warlords era.
Nice. That's perfect. I'm the complete opposite, but I feel like reading, regardless of what it is, it's just like, it's very peaceful.
Kind of takes your focus.
And just get your mind off something. And at the moment with the Agassi book, just learning someone else's story, and you can take a lot from it. But it's more just, I think, just like some peace and quiet, you know, and just chill.
Yeah. So I want to dive into your kind of life journey, whatever. And I guess to start off, like, what were you, outside of basketball, outside of sport, what were you like as a kid? Like, how would your siblings, parents, peers describe young Ben?
I think I was a little shit, to be honest. I was just annoying. Being the youngest, again, I'm the youngest of 4. So just causing trouble, really. Always like sporty though, not to keep it on the sport world, but always playing basketball or footy. I was playing footy growing up as well a lot. But I think I was just a bit of a menace, you know, just running around, causing trouble at home, just like fighting with my brother, fighting with my parents or whatever. But that's about it.
No, I like it. When did you first start sport? Like, how were you introduced to that? Like, a lot of people with older siblings start playing because of their older siblings. Was that kind of like the same for you?
Same thing. Like, all siblings played basketball. My brother played footy, and then I played footy. I was actually in my early days, like under 10s, 12s, 14s, I was always footy and like way better at footy than I was at basketball. Yeah. And then I just like didn't really grow like everyone else did. I was just small. Like, I was too frail, too little. Broke my arm like twice playing footy in like 14s, and I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. Yeah. Basketball was just like a safer place for a small kid to play, you know what I mean? And it's more skill based. So just kind of stuck out with basketball. But definitely got introduced through my brothers, like through my siblings. And I would have been like, basketball would have been like 5 or 6. Yeah. And then
so you were like always around it. Yeah.
Always. Yeah. Like, my older sisters 6-7 years older than me. So yeah, it's kind of just been.
Did you guys do like family backyard hoop game? Like, did you have a basketball hoop at home?
Yeah. Me and my brother always like brutal and just getting beat up, every day. And then like sometimes put the trampoline underneath it, which is, probably not really safe. And like back in, like now you see trampolines that have the net. Yeah. Like we're talking no net, like your legs going through the spring. Yeah. Like all that.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And my brother, little brother just doesn't care, like throwing me off the tramp.
Yep. Like when I played with my little brother when he was little, like now he's 6'7", so he's not so little anymore. But when he was little and we'd play basketball, like every opportunity to go for a layup, get that shit out of here. And then my older brother would bully the both of us. And now they're both huge and I still struggle to score over the top of them. But I'll never admit that to their faces. I'll always say that I beat them in every game. Anyway, I digress. At school, were you like a studious dude or not really? Like high school, not? And by what stage did you decide just basketball, like that was going to be a thing?
Probably under 14s, I think, or around that age, like 13, 13, 14. I feel like I just had to, I don't know, I can't remember who it was. I want to say it was probably my brother. People, definitely my family, were just kind of like, at some point, you got to make a decision. Yeah. Probably also for my parents, like doing a lot of travel, having, they probably wanted a Sunday off. So it's like,
all the driving.
Let's not play footy on a Sunday so that we can just chill, you know what I mean? Like, so I just kind of got to a point, I don't even know why, but I just felt like I had to make a decision on what sport I wanted to play. And again, I was better at footy, like way better at footy. I probably would have had at the time, it was looking like I would have had a better career in footy than it was basketball. But I just liked basketball way more. Like, I just preferred it. So, it's made the call.
That passion, like where you're like, I describe it as when you're doing what you do and you love it, like you're not thinking about anything else. It's like the basketball passion. Like sometimes we don't have many stages in our career where we're able to just think about basketball and none of the noise. Do you remember when that passion started for you and you were like, this is something that I want to do? Or was it something that kind of developed as you got into college?
Nah, definitely not. Before college, like I was always like, I want to play. Yeah, definitely. I've been a gym rat probably since I was, like 12. Yeah. Like literally every day for hours on end. And then it kind of, probably once I met Joey Wright, through a camp here in Melbourne. I would have been, I want to say I was like 13 or 14. And previous to that, like gym rat stuff is more just like I'm going in for 45 minutes and I'm just like reenacting like YouTube videos that I'm watching on basketball, I'm reenacting NBA. And that's how like I'm getting my hoop fix and that's how I'm hooping. But then I met Joey at a camp called the 5-Star Camp, which was out here. And that's like an American-based camp. It's really at the time it was really, really big in America. Yeah, they came out here. It was like high school coaches, college coaches. Joey was a part of that like coaching thing. But it's just like also at that time for me, it's like everything I'm watching on YouTube and TV is American, like to do with basketball. But there's no one really out here that's like that. So even just to like hear an American coach like come out here, hear his accent, in person for me was like the greatest thing ever. And you get in that environment. And those camps back then are like 5 days a week. Oh, it was a 5 day a week camp and like 9 till 5 probably, which is like these days
Holy crap.
You could never do that these days.
And you don't find them like that anymore.
You don't. But like that's just that American, like that's that American flavor. Yeah, do more. Come out here, not like what else you got to do. Yeah. Like, if you want to play basketball, just play basketball. Yeah. But that's where I eventually met Joey. Yeah. And then we ended up coming in. I met him on the first day. Yeah. And then he was like, meet me back at the gym the next day at like 6 a.m. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool. Go back. And he was coaching the Blaze at the time, Gold Coast Blaze. So he's like NBL coach. And I was a big NBL fan too. So I was like, this is crazy, Yeah. So I go back the next day at like 6 a.m., meet him in the gym. And we worked out, just me and him from like 6 till 7:30 in the morning. And then take like half an hour break. We sat there, like talked. And then we start the camp like 9 to 5, which is crazy. Dope. And we did that every day for the next 4 days. But Joey really kind of like structured a workout for me and like taught me how to work out and was like, this is the ball handling you should do this every day for an hour. This is the shooting you should do this every day for an hour. And just kind of gave me structures. And now rather than just going to the gym and doing random stuff, I'm now going to the gym like, and it's structured, and then
purposeful.
Yeah, exactly. And like now I could really start to see myself getting better. And I think from that moment where I was really like this is like, I love this, like this is the best thing ever, you know, like I just didn't want to be not in the gym ever. So probably from that moment I would say is when the passion. That's
super cool, because that's a full circle moment for you too, because you ended up playing for him. Like, that's dope. Like, that's so cool.
We've got some. I mean, we've got a good relationship. Yeah. So, but yeah, it is cool.
Good history. As you're kind of going through, I don't know, maybe like leading up to college stuff, or maybe it leaks into college. Do you remember a time where you ever like doubted yourself or like questioned your ability? Because I know for a lot of people, like their like when it comes to basketball skill stuff, like their self-belief comes from the work that they put in. Mm-hmm. Even though you were putting in all this work, did you ever question your ability in that way, like before you got to college, or was like, talk me through that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, like, again, I think physically, like I matured later than a lot of people my age, and like was never under 16s, 18s, all that, like never in a state team, and like never even close to making a state team, you know? So like you get invited to state camp, and it's like first cut, I'm out. Like next year I go, first cut, I'm out, like every time. So I'm kind of like, and at that age, you know, like that's everything. Like,
it hurts,
it does hurt, but like not being in a state team is like, what am I doing if I'm, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like, so for me, like just making a ones team was like a big deal, or the biggest deal. And then a lot of my friends are like in state teams, or they're getting closer than I am. So there's like a stack of doubt there, and all I'm hearing is like, you're too small, to this, to that, you know, it's the same old stuff.
Yeah.
And like, to be honest, like fair enough. Like I probably was too small. Like I probably wasn't.
Yeah.
I think skill wise I was better than everyone.
Yeah.
But I don't think like I was probably there physically.
Yeah.
So doubt, like for me, started like from a very young age.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even know why. It's like, why would I pick basketball if I'm small? Why do I even play sport? You know, type thing. And then I go to and then once I went to college, like college, I didn't get recruited heavily at all. Like I went to junior college for 2 years, and then after junior college,
where did you go to junior college?
I went to a school called Skagit Valley, which is in Washington, Washington State, not DC. And it's like, it's not even in the NJCAA, like it's not even the National JUCO. It's like its own separate Washington league. Yeah. So like no one knows about it, or it's like a very small place. So it's kind of like, what am I doing here? Yeah. All that. And it's the same, it's just doubt kind of nonstop. And then even after JUCO, it's like not really getting recruited. Like I had one NAIA offer and one D2 offer. And like I went to D2, but still then from there, it's like, how many guys go from D2 straight to the NBL or straight to pro? It's like, and you start looking at these percentages or like hearing stories about guys, and it's like, no one's really going. So it's like again, that's just doubles down on the doubt. And it's just like, what am I doing?
How do you keep yourself kind of centered in, because like, look, now I would say like there's more, like I want to say now, like the past like 2-3 years, there's more options for people that don't make state teams and go maybe high school in the States and then JUCO, and then you see more people that have done it. I mean, like yourself, like Junior when he was on the show, like you see there's more examples of people that have gone different routes. But for you, without those real examples, right? Because now kids are able to like see that in you, but it's not like you really had that to look at. Yeah. How were you able to like, I mean, you didn't quit. You still went to JUCO. You still went to your D2. Like you were still training, playing, all that stuff. How do you stay, like obviously there's self-doubt there, but then there also must be a motivator with belief that you could do it somewhere. Like how, or was like, what were the voices like? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the voices get crazy at times, but I think for me, it was you have your separate journey, you know, you obviously have your basketball journey, and then you kind of have like your own
life.
And your own mental kind of like growth that you go through. So there was definitely like big turning points for me where I was able to like learn more about myself, and I could probably control my emotions a little bit better and the doubt better. But earlier on, I think it just goes back to like working out, and I just like loved playing basketball. Like I didn't really care. It kind of got to the point where I was like, I don't actually like, I do want to play pro, of course. And like, I want to do all these things. But if it doesn't happen, I'm actually okay with just working out every day. Like if I start my morning going and lifting and then going and working out for like an hour, and then I go to my office job, like I would honestly be cool with that. Like that's just kind of what I wanted to do with my time and with my life. So obviously with my mental like growth, I think over time, I was able to kind of like let go of these big dreams and big goals I have and just concentrate on like my day to day and like that journey. And I feel like once I actually got to that point, that's kind of when things changed for me, to be honest. Like
things started happening because a lot of people are like big planners, right? And they like to plan out the next couple of years and all that stuff. But then there's like the day to day, right? That's life. Like
that is life, like for sure.
That like waking up every day and doing the small stuff, the hard shit that like no one talks about, or like there's a lot of players that do that and then go to their office jobs and then are still grinding to play. Like, I mean, it's a reality for a lot of female athletes. That's what we got to do. Like,
for sure.
I think that the finding the peace in that day to day, that would have like just, God, like unlocked so much for your brain to then be at peace with what you do.
Yeah.
But so before you took that step from college to professional, was there like you said, there were moments. Do you remember any of your defining moments where you had mindset shifts, like where you were maybe forced to come to terms with things, or like any specific like conversations, games, situations where you were like had to grow mentally in order to continue doing what you were doing?
I don't think in college I ever really had any turning moments. Like I was probably a little bit delusional in college, like looking back on it, I just always thought like something's going to happen for me, like I'm going to play pro. Like, I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen at some point, like even JUCO, it's like, JUCO, I'm like, after that, you think you're going to go D1. And then when D1 doesn't come around, it's just like to the next thing, and like D2. And then you just Google like D2 players that went to the NBA or D2 players that went to the NBA. You know what I mean? And it's like, you see this guy, like, so it can happen. So it's like, that's probably a delusional thing, a little bit.
I mean, it's hope. Like,
it is
it's
hope.
drive.
It is, but it was probably like a little bit unrealistic, but at the same time, like it was probably more in Lithuania. Like when I went to Europe, that's when I really had like a change where I was like, something's got to happen, like I got to either lock in or not. Like I'm going to have to give it up or I'm going to keep going.
Was Lithuania your first gig out of college, or like what was your first thing out of college?
No, so I came back from college. That's when I played for Nuttawatting.
Right.
Gotcha. That was like right away. Yeah. Came back like halfway through their season, but like wasn't really playing like at all for them. Like they had a stacked team then, and like a lot of old guys. And then after that, I went to Adelaide as a development player.
Okay.
That's when I was playing there with Joey, but like didn't play at all. Like, like not a single minute that whole season. So then, and then COVID happened. And Joey left Adelaide. Yep. And it was just kind of like whoever was with him kind of went as well. Yeah. So then that's when I came home and I was like back to Melbourne, and then I'm out of the NBL. It's also COVID, so it's like you can't just like go be a training player because there's like too many loopholes to get through.
You could barely even find a place to train. Like,
you couldn't. It was like the craziest time. So that's when I was like home and I was kind of like, I don't know what to do. And then Brock, I don't know, you guys know Brock Modem? Yep. Yeah, so Brock, I met him in Adelaide like a few years back, but we've been close since. And then he ended up helping me with like a European agent and stuff, and got connects to Lithuania. Again, like second division Lithuania in the middle of nowhere. Like very minimal, very, very minimal money. Yeah. But it was just another opportunity, it was just kind of like another thing to continue my career. It's like if you want to play, you can do this, or if you don't want to play, you can stay home and find something else to do, what I mean? So you just kind of, those are the moments I think where it's really like, it just forces you to ask yourself, like, is this what I want to do? I think it was just it was like a vessel for me more so to be able to continue to train. Like during COVID, like you said, there was nowhere to go train.
Nothing.
So it's like, I'm just going to go on the other side of the world and go train there, and go work out and play some games and see what happens. End of the day, like I said, I just loved hooping. So like it gave me a chance to go hoop again, and I'm like, why not?
I mean, what was it like living in a country that doesn't speak English, and Lithuania's very far from home? Yeah. What was that like in terms of like a character building experience for you? Like the basketball is the basketball, but the day to day, like what was that like? Yeah, it
was crazy. That was the biggest turning point for me. Like just probably in my life when I look back on it, like the most important time I think of my own individual growth. But in saying that, like it's Lithuania is like, it's very gloomy. Like,
Was it
cold.
snowing at that time? Like,
nah.
in my head, I think
snowing
Lithuania like
bit.
really cold.
Yeah. Freezing. Like no sun at all, which like definitely affects your mood.
Oh, for sure. Seasonal depression is a thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Yeah. I didn't know it until then. But like people, just walking around, no one really looks happy.
Yeah.
Just like rundown apartments.
Yeah.
That's kind of what everyone's living in. This is the city I'm living in.
Yeah.
Like Vilnius, which is like one of the main cities. I kind of got to see it like on my last few days that I was there, and like it's quite a beautiful place. Like, I could see people living there, or it's like a really, 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 really small Melbourne. So like that, there are nice places in Lithuania, but like if you're playing professionally, it's tough, and there's nothing really around. But yeah, I was just kind of like in the hotel or in my like hotel room, and then like didn't have a car either, nothing. So like walk to practice in the freezing.
Dang.
Practice, come home, like get some food, probably take a nap. Yeah. And then you go practice again, and then come home, and it's like nighttime by that time. So just eat, and then probably just chill, talk to some people back home
on FaceTime.
Because I'm just trying to hear some English.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's that was the day to day for me. Like I'd find small things. Like I found a little cafe, go get a coffee and like a cinnamon scroll.
Yeah.
Like that.
You got to find your stuff. Yeah.
That was literally my thing every single day. But yeah, it just forces you. When I can't speak to people back home or the time change is different, and I'm just chilling in this hotel room by myself, like can't go speak to my teammates because they don't speak English. And so I just kind of have to like a lot of questions come up in your mind. A lot of downtime just sitting by yourself, like it forces you to ask questions, and it sucks. At times like there's a lot of difficult questions you got to ask yourself and stuff like that, but. Again, like it's probably the most important time in my life when I like look back on it. Yeah,
I mean that's the time where you grow, right? Like sure. I think about it as like overseas, like professional overseas sports for some people who are in big cities and there's English speaking people, and like they can be amazing experiences. But there are a lot of times where people go play overseas and you're by yourself a lot, right? Like, so you don't know many people, and you train and then you go back to your room, and then you train and you go back to your room, right? So you have a lot of time to like be in your own head.
Yeah.
Do you remember at what point in your season you started to realize that like, oh, maybe there was a loop you needed to stop going on in your brain, or were you pretty on it early? Like, you know what I mean? Like when did you introduce the coffee and cinnamon scroll? When did you start like introducing some more positive headspace stuff? Or did it kind of have to get to a point first before you were able to kind of grow from that?
Yeah, it definitely had to get to a point first. So like when I got there, my kind of thing is when I get into like a new environment, and like that happens a lot for me. Like I change. I mean, you would know too, you
have to adapt. Yeah,
you have to adapt. But I kind of just let the environment kind of take its shape around me, and then I can kind of figure it out from there, or what my schedule will look like, or how I want to kind of what I want to do in that environment, basically. So I kind of did that in Lithuania. Like I just got there and was like, let me just go to practice, see what everyone's like. Let me come home, like kind of see what it takes of it. Like if let me go walk and find a cafe, and then if I like this cafe, then that'll be the thing that I start repeating over and over. So kind of let it take shape. But I think it kind of just hit me too much in Lithuania. Like I was caught off guard, I think, by how little communication I'm going to have with people, how much like inner voice and inner talk I'm going to have. I think I'd never ever done anything like self-help. I'd never done any like meditation or breathing or reading or anything like in my life, because it's just like you just constantly got something to do. I think when you're back home or when you're around people and you're comfortable in your environment,
exactly.
there's always something to do that is distracting you almost from learning about yourself, I think.
100%.
So then once I was over there, it just kind of got to a point where I was like, man, holy shit, like I'm actually really like I'm not enjoying this. Like I actually hate this. Like I'm not enjoying my day-to-day. I'm not enjoying practice, and I'm not enjoying basketball, which is like probably when it really, really hit me. I'm like, if I'm not enjoying basketball, then something's up.
Yeah, because that's your happy place.
That is my happy place, exactly. And it's like, this is not right. So it's like, again, you have a choice. It's like, do I just fucking get on a flight home, or do I stay here and like try and figure this shit out? And that's kind of was the first time where I was like, I'm just gonna have to try and figure this out. So things started kind of changing for me then. Yeah.
So I mean, like when we're forced into these like less than desirable situations as athletes, like, I mean, I've done where I just run away from the bad situation. Like I've done that, but like the most like kind of euphoria you get out of going through something that's like really hard, and then you like learn from it and then you chain from it. Like it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope because like you're forced into these situations where you have to adapt, or you do get on the flight to go home.
Yeah.
You have to change, you have to figure it out. And it actually not only just makes you a better athlete, but it's character development.
It is.
Like doing it for the plot, you know? Like it really is just like, it helps you become a more rounded human. But it's crap, man. Like that's like, it's a lonely place to be while you're figuring it out. And I think that, I mean, before I ask you about like your next steps and stuff, I think that especially being like, I mean, I have 2 brothers. I've been around enough guys in my lifetime. Like when guys go through things, sometimes they don't reach out because there's like a fear of the stigma out there and stuff. Were you ever like concerned about talking to people about like, oh God, I'm not enjoying this, because you had a fear of like people viewing that as weakness or anything, or that's not something that really crossed your mind?
No, I think so. And to be honest, like still to this day, you know, like in your everyday struggle, like there still is that like voice in your head. It's like, I don't want to seem like, I don't want people to know that I'm going through things, or I don't want people to think that I'm asking for help, like as a sign of weakness, which of course is like the complete opposite. Like it's actually a sign of strength when you
strength and vulnerability.
But again, I'm like so lucky to have my siblings, who are just like very aware and like very open and always like basically just giving me a line to communicate with them. So it's like, it's kind of keeps it within my circle. So I am reaching out, but it's like,
it's safe.
It's a very, very safe space. So like,
for sure.
I appreciate my family so much for that. And especially when I was in Lithuania, like they were massive for me, you know, like rather than having to call, I don't know, like call a mate and like think that he's thinking something about me, you know, I can just call them because I know they're not judging me, or I know they're not this. And honestly, same with Brock. Brock at the time, like always open line communication, and he had been in the situation. So there were a lot of things where like he played in Lithuania before. He's an Australian that played overseas for a long time. So it's like I could call him knowing that he's been through this moment, or he's done this, or so I just kind of had a very small circle of people that I could kind of rely on. But yeah, to that point about the stigma, and you know, it's still to this day, like I probably battle with it a little bit. I'm sure a lot of people do. But I'm just, I think I'm just very lucky to have a circle that I can open up to.
Yeah, I would say like the first couple steps, because like, look, I'm a super open book and I'm very, very vulnerable and open about a lot of things, but I wasn't always like that. I think that some of the things I would say to the people in my life that are still struggling to like reach out and ask for help in areas is like, find your safe, you know, find your people who you know you can talk to without filtering, but also knowing that like maybe you say something and it stops there. Like they're never gonna betray your trust in that way. They're just gonna listen. For you, that's your siblings. For other people, it could be a friend, could be a parent, could be whatever, could be a coach. Like find your small circle of trust, and that can be your first reach out. Like it doesn't always have to be you start a podcast to talk about this stuff, but like it doesn't always have to be something grand, but it is important to like initially break that barrier to reach out. Anyway, I digress. Post Lithuania, what was your next step, and how did you step into the next situation after going through something that was less than ideal? Like that's kind of, talk me through that.
Well, kind of nothing really came of Lithuania. You know, I ended up coming home a little bit early. My mom would hate me saying this, but my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was in Lithuania. And that was kind of like a big thing for me to come home, a reason to come home. So I kind of like short the season, not by much. I came home towards the end. And again, the NBL was still like in a bubble, kind of like COVID was still a thing, a pretty big thing. So there was probably like a 4-month period, I think, where I came home and like nothing was really, I didn't really know what the hell was going on with basketball. But again, I learned so much in Lithuania about like myself and like what really mattered to me. Your
family values, that type of stuff.
Of course. But again, it always came back to basketball. Like I just wanted my days to be working out. Like I just wanted to keep working out. So I was like, I didn't really know where this is leading. But yeah, I just kind of kept working out. And then that's eventually when I spoke to 40. Like 40 had called me and just been like, there's a training player. You can come up here and train, basically, like got no money, but like we'll just treat you like a fully rostered player, blah blah blah, and you can kind of, it's up to you, you know, like. And for me, it was just again another space, like another space for me to go and train, work out. But the thing is too is like such a bad, you mentioned about like you come from such a bad place or such a tough spot.
Yeah.
Like anything after that was like, I don't know, like this is not going to get worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True,
like,
true. Yeah.
Can't get worse from here. So for someone who maybe was like, maybe if I was a development player at Adelaide and then this thing with Cairns came after that.
Yeah.
It's like where I've been paid some money in Adelaide and like had a chance to actually be on a team, you know, get a jersey, all that fancy crap that means nothing. Then, and they come to me like, we got no money, but you come up here and train. It's like, fuck, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
But like, because I came from the Lithuania situation, it's like, yeah, why not? Like, Cairns is a beautiful place. Like worst case possible, I go up there and like have a good time, like outside of basketball.
Yeah.
And I train a little bit and I get better and I meet some cool guys. And and that's that, you know, make some good relationships. Like that was kind of my mindset with it. So
you know, that's a rare mindset, like especially in sports people, because they're always thinking, and you know, we're taught about this from like our young ages is like, if you're not taking steps forward, you're taking steps backwards. Like side steps are seen as negative, or even like any sort of pathway that doesn't look like this. Like, I mean, in reality, everyone's journey kind of goes all over the map. But to be able to like just see an opportunity as an opportunity and not value it as like going backwards and or forwards. It's like, even if it is a space that you haven't been in, being able to see that as like, I know I can take steps forward in this way. Yeah. I know that I can do this in this way. Like it's pretty rare to be able to do that. Do you credit that to just what you had gone through in Lithuania? Or do you think maybe that has something to do with the fact that like you said, you didn't make state teams, you were told you were too small, like you went a different route in college. Like, do you think like maybe all of those experiences helped you to just take opportunities as they are? Yeah,
I think a combination of both. Like definitely the younger stuff with not making state teams and like just kind of looking for the next opportunity. But at the same time, like I don't think if I didn't go through that experience overseas, I don't think I would have been in the same mindset. Like
for sure.
Yeah. But
did you take, when you went up to Cairns, was that for the NBL season, right? And then you did NBL 1 and then back there for NBL. Is that how that worked?
Yeah. So I went up there the 22 season and was there like the whole year.
Yep.
And then I played at the back end of that year. That's when I like played a few games. And,
right. Was it injuries there? Is that how that happened?
Yeah. Scott Machado was there. He got injured. And I played the last 8 games and like started the last 5.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which was wild.
But
shout out to 40 for that.
Yeah.
And then I stayed up there and played for the Marlins in the off season. And then the year after, which was just last year, that's when I signed my first contract. That's
actually wild. I want to let's go back a couple steps. So you go up there, you're training. How do you keep like I'm gonna take it to people every day mindset while like, did you have to work at the same time, right?
Yeah, I was working.
Yeah. So like the glam of being an NBL player, whatever, like how do you like keep a level head and like stay focused while you're also managing like a lot of other things in your life, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I've never really given a shit about like the stuff that comes with basketball. I really just love basketball.
Yeah, you wanted to play.
Yeah, and just love like I just enjoy waking up. Sometimes I enjoy waking up and working out from like 7 to 8:30 by myself. A great workout more than a game. Yeah. Like sometimes I get more pleasure out of that than actually playing. Like sounds silly, but
no, I totally understand what you mean.
But like so for me, like that's like the best thing I can do for like just out of anything. If someone right now is like, what do you want to do right now? It's like, I'll probably go work out.
Go work out,
I feel so happy in that moment. And I don't think about anything else. Like it's a very clear space for my mind. So yeah, I don't know. I was just enjoying being there and like going to work and doing some other stuff in my other time. Like didn't bother me. Like that was I was doing that in Melbourne anyway, you know, like I was working in Melbourne. Yeah. I was probably working a way worse job in Melbourne than I was up there. So, but also going back to that mindset of like going up and being like, this is just a great opportunity. I also had in like my mind, like I'm actually like, I think I'm better than most of these guys. Yeah. Like I'm going to go up here, I'm going to fucking kill these guys every single day of training. And like the NBL at trainings, they're not always like, guys aren't always going hard. Like they're not always like, some guys are chilling. Some guys are going hard, which is rare to find. Yeah. But like when you're a training player and you got a lot of energy to expand and like you might sit out for 2 days in a row. Yeah. And then like someone's like, I'm going to take a day off. So then now you come in, it's like, this is my game. Like
Yeah.
when I'm training, this is my game. You know what I mean? So these guys, this is not their game. Like,
Yeah.
So like, and it sucked a little bit because I wanted to build relationships.
Yeah.
But I was also hurting relationships because guys are like, man, like fuck you. Like
Yeah.
this is, you know what I mean? It's like, it's Tuesday morning, bro. I just played. Like you're
I know
picking
exactly
me up,
what you're
you know,
talking
you're
about.
picking me up full court. Like, fuck off, man.
Yeah.
But I'm like, nah, like I'm sorry.
This is my game.
This is what I gotta do. You know what I mean? And that ended up, I feel like that was the thing that kind of changed it for me, you know? Because I think the coaching staff up there saw that, respected that. I think a lot of guys on the team also saw it and respected it. Some guys didn't, but that's you know, that kind of is what it is. That's the industry too. Like that was the moment where it took me to be like I can't just be the nice guy all the time. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna have to hurt relationships for me to get a job. Like it sucks.
But also, like if that relationship is hurt by you putting 100% effort into practice, it's probably a relationship you don't need anyway.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I absolutely like. It's funny because I've actually said that like exactly what you said about like that training is my game. When I was playing at Southside and I wasn't playing, I was like, training, that's my game. Like I was so excited for training every day because I got to go up against like, I mean, for you, it would be like, you know, you get to go against the NBL guys. I get to go against like Opals and WNBA players. Like I was like, this is the best. Yeah. Like I guess for like, I really mean it. Like if people didn't see that and if that's a relationship that you hurt, probably not one that you want anyway. And listening to like for whatever kids are listening, say it's for like your under 14s, under 16s rep team. And if you're coming off the bench and in practice you're playing against someone and they get annoyed at you in practice and then they, you know, might hold something against you, don't take that personally because you don't need that relationship anyway. Like you can be nice, you can be a great teammate, but if someone's angry at you for giving 100%, that's not someone you need in your life.
For sure.
Anyway, moving on. Do you remember obviously you would, the moment when he told you that you were going to be playing a couple games, or was there kind of like an area where you're like, I think he's injured, I think he's not, he might pick me, am I going to do this? Like, tell me how that all ended up like unfolding.
Well, there was actually a lot that was going on.
Yeah.
So first when I went up there, probably within the first, I want to say like first month or two, first 2 months, like Scott got injured pretty early in the year. And then me and 40 had a meeting, or me, 40, and there was another training player up there, Robbie. And he was kind of like, I'm just going to let you guys like play for the spot. So we kind of like, it was a pretty crazy scenario.
Yeah.
It was almost like roll the ball out and you guys are going to play one-on-one.
Yeah.
To like see who's going to play.
That's wild.
It is wild, but it's cool. Like that's a cool environment to put you in. You know, I think a lot of people don't like that, you know, and like, that's the type of guy that 40 is. Like he wants that environment and that like a bit of tension, you know what I mean? And like for me, I love that too.
Yeah,
like, cause
competitive.
It's super competitive and it's game-like. And if I lose, I'm cool with that because like you beat me, you know what I mean? Like there's no excuse. Like, so we went downstairs and we ended up just like rolling the ball out, playing like a bit of ones. And then from there, like 40 was like, he never actually told me like, you're going to play. But like you're gonna, and he didn't tell either of us like this is like you won, like you won the spot basically. It never got to that. But I feel like I was gonna play. Yeah. And then the next day, it might have actually been that day. Me and Keanu were in a rebounding drill and we like collided knees and I fractured my knee. Yeah. And then like right after that practice, I think it was Taj. Taj was like, bro, you're about to play, right? Like try and figure out your knee, like try and figure out if you can just like get it right. Yeah. I'm like, bro, it's fat as shit. Like it's broken, I'm pretty sure, you know what I mean? So I ended up going to the doctors and I fractured my knee. So I was out for like 3 months and they were like, you can just go home if you want and just get it right, you know? And I was like, nah, I'm just going to stay. Yeah. Like nothing else to do. So I'm just going to stay up here. Yeah. So I ended up just kind of just like rehabbing my knee for 3 months of the season. Yeah. And then once I got healthy, kind of happened again. Like Scott got injured.
Timing's everything, man.
It is. But then 40 was like, we're not going to be able to play you because we can't, because of like some financial stuff was going on or whatever. And then like 2 days later, he's like, actually, something's happened, blah, blah, blah. We can play you. I'm like, so I'm playing? Yeah. So then that's when I went to Tassie, but I wasn't really playing anything like that. And then I played a little bit in the, no, I didn't play in that game. When we're coming back from Tassie, that was my first trip. We're on the way back from Tassie. We got a layover in Brisbane. Yeah. And 40 comes up to me. He's like, hey man, I'm going to start you. I'm like, what? Because I'd played like three junk minutes at the end of the last game. He's like, I'm going to start you. I'm like, for real? He's like, yeah, I'm going to start you. And then just walked off.
Oh
So then we've got a flight from Brisbane back to Cairns, and we're playing United the next day.
Yeah.
At home. And then the next morning he's at shoot around. He's kind of like, yeah, I'm just going to start you on Delhi. Just go head to head, just go out there and just like pick him up full court and just pester him. Like that's literally a job.
Yeah.
And then, so I went and did that, played okay. And then I had like played the next, I think we had 5 games left. And then I started the next 5 games.
Yeah, that's actually wild.
Wild, yeah.
You know what's crazy though is because like not a lot of people can deal with like the turmoil that is, I mean, that season for you, there's a lot of highs and a lot of lows, right? The first thing I want to ask you about is like when you got injured, what was that like? Were you like, oh, I'll be back soon? Or like, did you get hit by the fuck I was about to play? Like, how did you handle that?
Yeah, no, it was like full on like, fuck, I was about to play. Like, that was my, you don't get many chances. No. Like, there's only very small windows that you get an opening to like show and prove yourself.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, that's it, Like I was of that mindset, especially because I'm injured. You can't actually train. No. So like there's no like affirmation of like I'm still good. I'm still like I'm nice. Like you start to forget like how good you are. Or you start to like doubt yourself even more. And it's like I don't know if I'm gonna come back and be the same. Like I don't even know what this injury is, blah blah blah. Yeah. So it just goes on forever. So it was definitely more just like fuck. And then
did you have support in that area? Like did you talk to people during that? Like obviously did you rely on your family again, or was it like this is something you dealt with internally more? Yeah,
probably more internally, that one. But again, I didn't have a choice of like, I mean, you do. You have a choice of like, you can go home or you can stay rehab and like just try wait for the next opportunity type thing. Or not wait for it, but try and make something else happen. And I think for me, as long as that season was happening and like going on, that I always knew there was going to be something, And if it was going to be something that season, then I was going to stay and play in the off season with the Marlins and like try and make something happen there. Yeah. So it's just kind of the just next opportunity mindset. But instantly, and especially for the first month of that injury, it was just like, what the fuck? Like, it was
especially because like the way you've described it, like even just training is your happy place. So like not being able to do that while you have so much going through your head. Yeah. I guess like how did you then get back, like as you started to train again, like getting back into that, how did you step back into the mindset of like, I can fucking do this, like I'm gonna get that opportunity? Or were you still kind of like harboring that self-doubt?
I was definitely still there was still just some like self-doubt in there. Yeah. But like I'd already had a little taste of like training and like being around the guys, and I'm like, I can play in this league, like for sure. Like these guys, like you kind of glorify the guys that are up above you and ahead of you. And then once you actually step into that environment, it's just like, I'm actually right here with these guys, and you have that realization. So that gave me confidence. But then obviously with the injury, it's like, I don't really know what's happening, and like more self-doubt comes in. Yeah. And you kind of always had those like questions in your mind. Yeah. But after the Melbourne game, once I started playing, and I came down to Melbourne, that's the game when I had like 20 and 10. Yeah. And I was like, I remember that. My breakout game. Yeah. Like after that game, honestly, since that day, like my self-doubt has been like very minimal, if any. Like if anything, I've just doubled down the other way. Now I just believe, like if I can have 20 and 10 against, and also not against like no bums, like it was Daly, Shayley, Goulding, like it's like, the best defenders in the league type guys. Yeah. I was just like, now I have no reason, like why would I have self-doubt, you know what I mean? And then that's when everything started kind of turning around for me and going the opposite way. It's like now I really, really believe that I am who I am, and I really am this good.
Did you have a moment, maybe it was then, maybe it was during NBL 1, or maybe it was during this last season just gone, where you were able to reflect on like your journey of getting there? Because like I said before, like there's a lot of kids that go like juniors, state team, Oz team, AIS, college, back to NBL. Right? Yeah. Your path didn't look like that. Yeah. And so have you had the time to like actually sit back and be like, yo, I did this. And now when you have a kid sitting in his dorm at a JUCO being like, how many JUCO kids can play? And like your name's going to come up in that. Like, have you been able to reflect on the fact that your path has like, you haven't taken the traditional path, but you've paved a new one, right? And other kids are going to take that same one. Have you been able to reflect on that at all?
A little bit. I think reflection's like a work in progress. Yeah. It's tough, it's a hard thing to do. But I reflected after I definitely had a moment of reflection before I played in the off season. So like right after those, like I'd started those games and everything. Because like that was more just like, that was the biggest jump, you know. It's like, that was like holy shit, like I just started NBL games.
Yeah.
So I did have some reflection then. But then after that, it's just like, I'm very much always just like, I just feel like I've just started.
Yeah.
Like I'm a little bit older and like my career started a little bit later. But like, that's probably a reason why I'm kind of like, fuck, like what's next? Or like, how can
like in the spectrum of your journey, like you've only just started. Like, when I say you've paved the way, like you're like here and there's still so much more.
Of course. But like, that's probably where I need to, that's what you can't get caught up, you know, in being like, what do I got to do next? And then you forget about everything you've done. And that can be a bad thing. But so yeah, I've had some reflection, but recently not heaps.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, that's fair.
reminder.
I mean, you're about to step into another playing situation. Like you've just signed with Phoenix. Like how are you going to, like, does your mindset shift going from one club that you've been able to show every part of yourself in practice every day? Do you go in with the same, actually, this is a great question. So do you still enter every practice with the same mindset you did as a training player when you first got to Cairns, like now stepping into like your NBL roster spot, going into a new team? Is it the same mindset? Is it the same Ben? Or is it like a completely different mindset?
Nah, it's the same.
Yeah.
I think it's the exact same. Like that has to be the base every time. Like that's just who I am, you know what I mean? I always, even now, like still underestimated, I think, and still, it's just like, probably just, now it's kind of like, well, you're a role player in the NBL, like cool, you know what I mean? I think it's just always a ceiling that people are going to put on me.
Yeah.
And that's just something that I always want to break through. So I have to have that base level mindset. But I think now it comes with a little bit more like, there's just more confidence in doing that.
Yeah.
And like, I'm more just, it's hard to put into words, but
no,
I would say, yeah, it's really the same. There's no definitely different mindset. You need to work on, it's easy to get caught up in like having success now, you know, and especially I think in NBL 1 level, like you can go down there and like kill, you know, and average 25 a game and get all the praise you want day in, day out. But then you can't forget that you go back to the NBL. It's like, I still need to be the same like JUCO kid. I need to be the same kid that didn't make the state team. Like I got to come in here and have that same mindset. And like if I don't, I'm gonna be out of the league. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like that's just how the NBL is in the moment. I think a lot of professional leagues are like that. Like if you lose where you came from, like it's wraps. You know, I think, and very quickly too. Yeah. So if I don't have that mindset, then it's not gonna be good.
Yeah, I mean, you got to stay true to yourself. You got to have your core values and the way that you approach every situation. I mean, from the sounds of it, and actually from people onlooking, like watching you play basketball is fun, right? Because you play really passionately and you play hard every possession. You play fucking hard, man. It's fun to watch, and it's like it's the reason like people come to watch you play. It's the reason that people come to watch players like you play. I would say if you had a young kid come up to you and ask you like, hey, what's your one bit of advice? Like, what would that be? Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest right now. Yeah. Well, I don't think there's any like magic. I don't have a magical answer. Like my answer is always just, it's very, it's not corny, but it's always just like, you just gotta stay in the gym. You know what I mean? Like you gotta keep working out and just, you just gotta get better. Like, and I think it doesn't matter what level you play at, or like whether you're in a JUCO, whether you're in a twos team growing up, you're not in a state team. Yeah. If you're good enough, like coaches will find you. Someone will find you. Like for sure. Like, and I think I'm living proof of that, where I didn't play in any big teams, state teams, no D1s, nothing. Like I wasn't playing NBL, but like eventually like someone found me, someone gave me an opportunity. Yeah. And then from there it's up to you. But like that's where staying in the gym is on you, you know what I mean?
Baseline.
Yeah. So if you're in the gym and you're getting better, someone will find you. Yeah. Play the game the right way. And then you just got to take it from there, really. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Just stay in the gym.
And then, so I've said this before, but like I've had a coach, mentor person tell me that like sometimes who you surround yourself with and who you have in your circle is important to like not only the way you approach things, but also to your success. Because if you have blossomers in your circle that like lift you up and not just like confirm your biases, like people that challenge you, people that push you hard. Do you have people like that in your circle? Like whether that's family, friends, whatever? Like
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, to be honest with Jono, like Jono for me is like I see him and like he has more excitement for me than I have for me sometimes, you know what I mean? And it's just like constant words of like, you're going to be this, or not even you're going to be, you are this, like you're this guy, you're that, you know what I mean? I'm like, Jono, chill. But like,
relax.
But at the same time, like I walk out of the gym and I feel so good. Like, and then we just got work in and my work is probably, the workout that I've had was just so much better just because of what he's saying and like what he's putting out there. And then same goes with like my brother, my friends like around me that are in the basketball world, and like even Marley. Do you know Marley? $5?
Yeah.
Like Miles has like been big for me, you know, just constantly like pushing me in basketball. It's like, bro, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that. Like Joey, like a lot. I could name a lot of people that are like that. But in saying that, I've also been in circles where it's the opposite. You know what I mean? And guys, people kind of like complain. It's like, this is not going to happen, or like, dude, that's crazy for you to think that, or like, why are you going to Cairns without getting paid? Like, you know what I mean? And you get that, and it's just like, and it's draining. And,
it is, right?
And it brings you down too. You're like, holy shit. And you start to believe it too, you know?
Yeah, it's like an energy sucker kind of.
It is. So like, I think it's really important to recognize the people in your life that are like, you know, blossomers, like you said, and the people that are draining you, and you got to just seek out those other people.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. That's literally, I think, the biggest steps I've taken in my professional career and my personal life has been recognizing the people that, you know, are genuinely happy for your success. And that does tie back into like some of my closest friends are the people that I go hardest at on the basketball court. Like, I mean, like my fiance and I, we practice together all the time and we beat each other up on the basketball court, yet she's my fiance. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's like the people in your life that push you hardest are the most dear to you. So I guess that brings me to my next question is like, when as athletes, sometimes it's hard for us to feel seen, like whether it's the media, whether it's the people around you, whatever, like like maybe there's photos of you places in media, but like to seen for who you actually are, like you're you. Do you feel like from the outside, someone just coming to a game or someone talking to you randomly at a camp or something, do you feel like people see you for who you actually are? Or do you feel like that's something you're still working at?
Nah, I don't think people see me for who I am. Like, because like you said, I do play the game. I think people see me majority of the time on the court, and I play the game in like a very aggressive way, you know, and like I talk trash and like I just probably come across as like arrogant or cocky or this, but like off the court, I feel like I'm just super chill. I just be at home. I try and stay out of the way as much as I can, and like I just don't really. I don't really care about that stuff. You know what I mean? Like that just comes from my passion for basketball. But I also, it might sound bad, but I don't really necessarily have like a want to try and like prove that I am that person. You know? Like
for sure.
I think the people around me know that that's who I am. And I think my teammates, even now, like the teammates I have at Southeast, like they don't really know who I am. They just know me as the basketball player. But I know after a week of preseason, they're gonna be like, oh, he's just, you know what I mean? Like that's just who he is on the court, and this is who he is off the court. So for other people, it is what it is with them. You know? It's cool.
No, I get what you're saying. Okay, so we do have a few questions that were sent in by some people. One of them, actually, going off the back of what you just said, the trash talk, right? Trash talk, it says trash talk and celebrations. I don't really know how to phrase this question, but when you're trash talking, are you just like, is your mouth just running and you're not thinking about what you're saying? Or is it like, are you pointed? Like, you know what to say? Because I have no idea what I'm saying 90% of the time when I'm trash talking. And I reckon if I got mic'd up, I don't know if I'd be speaking English. Like, is that you? Like,
sometimes, not really. I think I try and think it out. Like, or I'll just have lines like that are just, I'll say to the same, you know, I'll say them over and over. But I don't know. I honestly think that trash talking in Australia is really poor. Like, it's pretty trash.
Yeah,
like,
it's bad. It's bad.
So I feel like every single time sometimes I'll just be like, man, I don't even want to talk to you. You know what I mean? you're just talking about nothing, you know? Whereas I really want to talk about something, you know? I really want to get into something,
He's ready to run his mouth.
Yeah.
Can we mic you up for an NBL 1 game? I feel like that would be brilliant. Like,
yeah, maybe. It'd probably be a lot of bleeps.
I feel like that would make for a great watch.
I should do that though.
Yeah, you should absolutely do that. Can we make that a series? Anyway, I digress. I think that's brilliant. I quite literally, there is some footage that I've done very, very good job at burying, but during WNBL games where I don't even know what I am saying. Like, I'm 100% sure it's not English. I just look like I'm making noise. And I wish, I've got some people in my life that are brilliant with trash talk and, they're so witty and stuff. And I'm like, I need to relax because I need to get there. Yeah. I need to make sense when I say something.
Yeah, you have to. I got to
make sense.
Is there a lot of trash talk in WNBL?
Actually, no. It's frowned upon, right? For I would say for female athletes, showing emotion for the most part is frowned upon. Even when we flex, it's like, what is she doing? And it's not outside people saying that. It's within our own sport. Yeah. Right. So it's other chicks on your team or on the opposing team, why would you flex? That's lame. But now we're getting to a sport. When I played 3x3 with the Kangaroos, between me, Marina, Ali Wilson, and Loz Mansfield, we're all talking so much shit. Theirs is way more structured, but we're all flexing, we're all getting hype, getting around each other. It's a big missing piece in women's sport. Yeah, massive.
Is that the nature of 3-on-3 though? Just because it's more physical?
Absolutely,
it's
to
trash,
quite literally, you're just fouling the crap out of each other and pushing each other around. You got to talk shit. You just have to. And then also all the other countries are good at it too. Yeah. Granted, they're speaking Spanish or French and you're not really sure what they're saying, but it sounds smooth, you know? Yeah. Anyway. So this question, maybe you can shine some light on this. Ask Ben what happened at Year 12 Muck-Up Day from Spindles.
Ask Ben what happened at Year 12 Muck-Up Day.
What did happen on Year 12 Muck-Up Day? Do you not know the answer?
I do know, but I feel like that can't be talked about.
Or did you glad wrap a teacher's car?
Nah, nothing like that. We didn't even get let into school.
What?
We didn't even make it into the school ground. And then from there, we ended up going to another school and just kind of had our muck-up day at another school, but that was bad. Yeah. And then, some police got involved and stuff like that.
That's actually brilliant. So yeah, muck-up days are supposed to be wild though. Yeah, they're supposed to be like that.
They are, but this one wasn't good.
Yeah. We'll get another version of that story on another day. Mm-hmm. Are you excited about doing the Phoenix, and have you set any personal goals for the next season?
I am excited to join the Phoenix. Mm-hmm. Very, very excited, especially just being from the Southeast. So just representing the area and the kids from the area. Any personal goals? Not really. I think just right now it's definitely just win the championship. So it's not really a personal goal. It's a team goal. Yeah. But I'm gonna just go out and say probably most improved. I'll go with that for an individual goal.
Yeah, I love that. Do the most. How cool would it be to do most improved 3 years in a row? Do that. I think that's an amazing thing. Yeah. And then. This one says, who's going to win the NBL 1 national champ this year? Yeah,
that's us.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm kind of worried about the schedule because it's you're going to be in it. We're going to be in the schedule. We're going to be because I think it's in Perth, right?
Yeah.
So we'd have to fly to Perth whilst I'm in the Southeast preseason. So I would hate for it to take away from the team building
You'll make
of
it
Southeast. Yeah.
You'll make it work.
I don't really see a team beating us. Definitely not in the South. It's raps for the South.
Yeah.
We're definitely winning that. But then
shout out Sandy.
Yeah, shout out Sandy.
Although I would say Eltham might give you a run for your money.
Yeah, we already beat him by 30. But
hey, first of all, there's always more than one game. Anyway, this is a random one. Have you tried the tacos from La Tortilleria in Kensington yet? Apparently you told someone that you would. And if you haven't, do it, post it on your story.
In Kensington?
I don't know.
I don't even know where Kensington is.
Okay, all right.
But no, I haven't. But I love tacos. So yeah.
Well, you're going to have to try that.
I'll try
and then please put it up. Or send us. I'll send this to you.
Well.
No, I didn't. I said La Tortilla. I just mumbled the rest of the word.
Yeah, send it to me.
Yeah, and then we'll have to get you on a video on Under the Surface actually trying that.
Okay, I got you.
And then this one says, what is your relationship with Quat like? I know you two were at the Taipans together.
Yeah, cool. That's my guy, We're very close.
Did you ever get in on any of his YouTube videos?
Nah,
You know,
he never asked me.
Oh, lame.
Nah. But also shout out to Kuat for actually having a YouTube account and actually, posting content. It's cool. I think there's a big space for content, especially with NBL and WNBL players.
Yeah. It's hilarious. His stuff is hilarious.
Yeah, he's good. Man. He's really good. And then also shout out to him for talking trash online and, and doubling down on himself, whether it's NBL 1. I think I need to do that this year, especially with Sandy. So, But yeah, Kuat's my guy.
I love that. And then you've kind of already answered the advice that you would give to your younger self a little bit, but what is your favorite memory from your junior basketball, if you have one?
Favorite memory?
Because you haven't actually said you played for McKinnon, yeah?
Yeah, so I played for McKinnon, and then I played 18s at Sandy.
Okay. Contrary to what Wikipedia said, which was Nunawading, it is McKinnon and Sandy.
I probably don't. I think actually, I'll probably say going over to when I moved from McKinnon to Sandy.
Yeah.
It was such a big deal at the time. Yeah. Because my family is very invested in the McKinnon world, and I just wanted to kind of move on, up my career and go play VC or whatever. Yeah. And I went to Sandy, and I eventually got I was in the 2s to start, bottom age 18s, but then I made the 1s. And then after that, we the ones we were good. And then the second year I played 18s, we won VC reserve.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. Let's go with that.
That's a good junior memory. That counts for something.
Yeah.
And you've answered pretty much all the other questions. Are you a gamer? Because it has a question about favorite things to do if you have a spare couple of hours, but I'm going to say you answered that with reading and chilling and movies. And
just chill. I used to game at college a little bit, but I'm not a massive gamer, to be honest. I'll play it occasionally. I'm nice at 2K, but I don't really play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you would be.
Yeah.
It's a self-confidence. You got to believe that you're good.
For sure.
Yeah. Anyway.
Actually, I'm really nice though.
Yeah, sure. Okay. All right. Well, that kind of wraps it up for us. I think that hearing people's stories and or journeys that haven't gone the traditional route, it's going to make that sentence kind of dissipate, right? There's no longer going to be a traditional route. There's just going to be routes, And I liked what you said before about having other people place ceilings on you, and then you're just able to kind of, blow them off, you're able to burst through the ceiling, you're able to get rid of those ceilings. And I think that a lot of people, especially in the media these days, love to put people in boxes, they love to put ceilings on people, and they love to give people limits to what they can and can't do. And I love that you've been placed in those boxes and you've just broken through that over again and again and again. So it's going to be really cool for people to listen into this, because there is kids that are now going to be looking at what you've done, and they're not going to be feeling there's no chance. Because that little bit of hope, that little bit of hey, I could actually do this because other people have, can then spark a whole new generation of athletes that have slipped through the cracks of the traditional system to go on and do amazing things, right? It's pretty fucking cool.
No, so cool.
It's pretty cool. It's dope. Anyway, but I digress. I'm excited for people to listen to this. And I'm very thankful for having you on, Ben. This was Under the Surface with Anneli Maley, and it's powered by Reebok.